Okay, I'm going to ask a question and I want you to think about it hard before you actually answer. And the question is this: why are you so angry at EA? Why are you getting your panties in a knot over everything that EA do? And to be fair, this is a question I could be asking myself because I get angry at EA rather a lot. But you have to wonder now, what's the point? Specifically, what I'm talking about here is the story that's been breaking over the last few days that EA have cancelled yet another Star Wars game. And for those of you who don't know the history of this, let me just fill you in with some of the details. And I'm getting these from an article by Eurogamer, which I will link in the description. The facts are pretty clear though, and you can find them wherever you look on Google. So this is what we know. Late in 2017, EA cancelled Amy Hennig's Star Wars project and they shut down Visceral Studios, at which point we all got, surprise, surprise, pretty angry. They intended to use some of the assets and I don't know what elements of that game to put into an open world game codenamed Orca. And Orca was going to be a big project apparently, and I think they even ported over some of the people to work on that as well, although I might be wrong on that. But then fast forward to this last week or so, and we've discovered that they have now cancelled Orca, or the game that was supposed to replace Amy Hennig's Star Wars game. And surprise, surprise, everybody got really angry about that too. And I started reading around about it and I was thinking, what on earth are EA playing at? And I saw a few people making videos about this and, you know, talking about the fact that people were angry. And it occurred to me again, you know, why are we getting angry? Why are we surprised about this? That EA have cancelled yet another game. Because if you look at their history, they've cancelled so many games and they've destroyed so many studios that it shouldn't be a shock at this point. They always follow the money. And the problem is they haven't got a crystal ball any more than the rest of us. So sometimes when they follow the money, they're going in the wrong direction. And it seems to me that that's what they're doing here. However, it does seem that they are changing direction again, and rather than just cancelling this game, they are going to retask some of that and put it towards yet another Star Wars game, codenamed Ragtag. And again, I've got this information from the Eurogamer article. Now, according to Tom Phillips in the article, Ragtag is a smaller project, and that means in some respects it's more akin to Amy Hennig's project. So they had a project, they cancelled the project in favour of a different type of project, and now they've cancelled that project in favour of the project or a similar project to the project they had in the first place. Are you following me? Doesn't make any real sense to me. But, you know, this could be good or bad depending on the way you look at it. It does show that EA are either incompetent or they are panicking, frankly, because they could very well be panicking over there given the financials they've had over the last few months. If you look at Ragtag, if you look at this new game, which is like the old game before they replaced it with another new game. Oh, anyway, I hope you're keeping up. Ragtag is going to be a smaller project, and it could therefore generate a return much quicker. It looks like it's going to be released around the time of the next gen. So about the time we're seeing the next Xbox and the next PlayStation, which we're all expecting now to drop in 2020, tail end of 2020. So it could be a launch title for those new platforms. But that also means that EA could get away with a bit more than they maybe could in a mid-gen title. And the reason I say that is if you look at the games that come out when new consoles are launched, they're often cut down And sometimes they look like little more than tech demos, but we buy them and we accept them because, hey, you know, it's new and it's shiny and it's the first game or the first series of games that have come out on this console. So EA are probably looking to mediate some of the problems they're having financially, and they're looking to the future maybe a little bit and seeing that they can make in effect, a quick buck. That's the way I see it. And would that surprise anybody at this stage? You know, they could bring out this game which has very little in it and sell it at full price. And people would be like, oh, wow, you know, it's early in the cycle. You know, this is kind of what you expect from the first games you see. Things will get better. The next version of the game will be better, that kind of thing. Or at least they would. I'm not sure they will with EA because we're all used by now to the way EA do things, and it's pretty cynical. And they could even do this thing whereby they release a little more than a tech demo and then monetize it by selling us extras later on down the line. Again, that wouldn't surprise me with EA. And, you know, this is me speculating, but I wouldn't be at all surprised that they're being driven by their financials and the worry that they have about their financials. And so this massive project that they were apparently working on, Orca, it probably wasn't something that they wanted to get involved in at this stage, given that, well, they're going to need some money. Because, okay, look, I know FIFA and some of the other games that they put out generate money every year, but they're not going to be able to entirely rely on these games because their year-on-year growth, as we've seen, well, at the end of 2018 and into 2019, has not been good. EA's activities, the way they've done their business over the last 5 years or more, even going back 10 years, has led them to this point where they're now struggling because they don't have a portfolio of good games that they can put out and excite people. Even Anthem, there are people out there who are excited about Anthem, but the rest of us who are used to seeing the way EA work, are kind of looking at it and going, well, I'm not pre-ordering that, I'm not getting that day one, I'll wait and see. And that's the sensible way to behave towards EA at this stage. It's not really sensible to get angry, and I've given up being angry with EA at this point. It is EA. What do you expect? If you get angry every time EA do something stupid or something that is driven entirely by their greed, you're just going to get tired out. It's exhausting. And I, for one, I don't want to spend my life getting angry with EA. I've had enough of them. And so what I've actually done is I've just stopped buying their products. And okay, look, I'm making a video about this. And the reason I'm making a video about this is because, well, I'm a YouTuber. I want to talk about the news and it is interesting. And there's an element of me that's, and I shouldn't say this because I feel for the people working for the various studios. I have a certain amount of glee though. That's the truth of it. When I see the way EA are going and the problems they're encountering, it actually makes me laugh. And if they don't do something to change the way they do things, they're going to have a major rethink at some point. They're going to have to ditch some of their senior managers because, honestly, I don't see that the way they're doing things at the moment is sustainable. And I've just given up, as I say. I don't buy their games anymore. I think I'm still subscribed to EA Access on the Xbox because I forgot to cancel it, and so it runs to the end of the year, and I've done that a couple of times now, so I really need to cancel that. But I'm done with EA. And it's a shame because I do want to buy Star Wars games. I do want a good Star Wars game. I remember some of the Star Wars games back in the day when we had LucasArts. LucasArts was a fantastic company producing some amazing games, you know, the X-Wing games, X-Wing TIE Fighter, those games, and some of the first-person shooters as well that came out of that studio were amazing and great to play. And I wish we could get some Star Wars games like that again. But while EA have got it, I don't think we're going to be seeing anything like that anytime soon. So 1, don't get your hopes up. And 2, don't get your panties in a pickle whenever EA does something like this, because it's par for the course. It's just to be expected. And for those of you who think that Disney are going to step in and solve the problem, well, they might. They might. If they think it's going to hit their bottom line as well, they may well step in. But a word of warning here. Don't think for a moment that Disney are the good guys. They're not. Disney are all about the financials as well. And they've done some great things with the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but a lot of people really aren't happy with them over the way they've handled Star Wars. And I'm kind of in the middle on that one. I'm not invested in Star Wars in the same way some people are. I'm not the sort of person who becomes a fanboy of anything. So while I enjoy the Star Wars movies, certainly the first 3, I grew up with those, I'm not somebody who has a lot of stock in the Star Wars universe, if you like. I do enjoy the films. I've read some of the tie-ins. I do like it. But I don't feel like I own it, like it's part of me in the same way that some people do. And I would caution against doing that anyway. But anyway, look, you know, that's slightly off topic. The reality is that we can't trust Disney either. So you just have to wait and see what's going to happen. And this could be a good game. This new, whatever it's called, Ragtag, I think they've codenamed it. It could end up being a good game, but I wouldn't hold your breath. And that could end up getting cancelled at some point as well if they do an about face again and decide to go another way. So, yeah, don't get your hopes up and don't get angry. It's EA. It's what you expect now. So, yeah, that's all I can say on this one. I'm just, you know, I suppose what I'm doing really here is cautioning people just to chill a bit, you know, calm down, because, as I said before, it's just bloody exhausting. Anyway, that's me done. I'm full of cold, so I'm going to go and lie down in a dark room. And I will speak to you guys in the next one. Bye.
May the Force be with us.